Good morning, Brittany, and Kristen, and Christopher.
Morning.
And we got Professor Larry Davis as well. Waiting for Ryan Mills to join us. There's Ryan. Take it away, Ryan. You're on mute, Ryan.
Let me take myself off mute and say good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where folks are dialing in from. Hi, Chris. Good to see you again. Hi, Stacy.
Hey, Ryan.
Hi.
Hey, good morning, Larry.
Good morning.
Hi, Kristen. Hi, Brittany.
Morning.
CJP as well. It was a nice webinar on the IRT. I don't know if anybody else had a chance to listen into that. That was an interesting conversation.
I'm not sure I screwed them up because I had to cancel the other meeting to get this meeting started at 9.
Oh no. Oh, priorities.
Yeah, you cannot have 2 meetings at the same time on Zoom, unfortunately. So I hope I didn't hurt them. Tony, join us.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Maybe we'll give one more minute.
Okay.
We can see if there are any stragglers, and then we can get started. I think it should be a relatively straightforward agenda today. Hopefully you guys saw the email, but just touching base on the webinar that Tony has been starting to plan with a few of our panelists. Wanted to discuss the proposal for a feedback mechanism on the webinar, Stacy. So I know you had some conversation with Eliana. That might be good timing to bring that up with our next webinar coming up. Then we'll talk about the 2024 conference and kind of finalizing the webinar, or I'm sorry, the conference topic that we want to discuss there. And then we'll open it up for any other topics that folks would like to discuss, just kind of open forum hot topics. Yeah, why don't we get started, just in the interest of folks' time? I'm actually going to Tony, maybe turn it over to you for a quick update on where we are with the planning for the packaging strategies webinar.
Sure. I'll be brief. I'm happy to answer any questions. Good morning and afternoon, everybody. So we have all our panelists, of course, identified. We had our first planning session. Was it last week? It might have been last week. Time's been flying, but we recently had our first planning session of 2, lined up exactly how we want it to flow, how we want to cover the content the best way. So we're all on track to have hopefully a really solid webinar on November 15th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And that's really it as far as an update. I can go into more detail, but
yeah, I think it's going to be a very solid discussion. I think we have some great panelists covering kind of the diversity of perspectives that we're looking for out of these webinars. So really looking forward to that. Any questions or follow-up for Tony?
I would just make an observation, Ryan, that it would really help if each one of us and our colleagues promoted the webinar through LinkedIn and through your other channels. That would be truly appreciated. We had more than 70 people on the webinar this morning, and there's no reason why we should not get 100 people for this one that you are planning.
Yeah.
So let's do the promotion.
Yeah, and Devendra, maybe you and I can follow up offline with Bill on when the marketing piece will be ready for this webinar, if it's not already, and then we can start to blast that out. And when I send out minutes from the meeting, I'll make sure to bold that as a call to action for the rest of the folks that are on this team.
Amen. All
right. Thanks so much, Devendra. Okay, maybe let's talk to. I think just that it kind of follows the same thread. The feedback mechanism. I know, Stacy, you had sent an email that you and Eliana had been talking about how it would be nice to have a way to collect feedback, maybe through a survey or maybe through some other mechanism for the webinars to see how we can continue to improve these.
Yeah, I mean, that was exactly it. I mean, we were coming out of the last webinar and Eliana was one of the panelists, and she asked if there had been any feedback that she could take away or we could think about, either as, hey, this topic would be nice to like continue on, or hey, I wish we had touched more on this, or I mean, anything, right? Topic and so I think as the panelists who put time in, it would be nice to get them some feedback for us as a work stream. Nice to know that we're hitting right on topics people want to hear. And so yeah, if there was just one this morning like that, it's great timing to think about like how would we get feedback from that, and what's maybe the right audience? Like, is it just the BSMA maybe members, right, that we use as an audience for feedback, or is it really all attendees? And then a mechanism. And one quick mechanism we thought about was like just trying to make it as easy. I know people hate surveys, but it's easy to answer a quick, survey afterward that went out. Maybe we would get some quick hits back. Sometimes it's hard to just send an open email, right? So maybe we'd get some quick hits, but I don't know if others have ideas. Would love to hear, and happy to help try to organize something if we want to go that route.
Maybe Devendra, I'll toss that over to you. Is that something that we've talked about with Bill before? Maybe getting a post-webinar survey out to attendees to solicit that feedback?
So Stacy is right on. I really like what you said. And all we need to do, please, is maybe come up with 3 or 4 questions, and we could do a survey immediately after the webinar.
Yep.
And one after the webinar. And we could even focus on number 1, the attendees of the webinar, and then to the broader steering committee community, and thirdly, to a larger community. So all I really need is as few questions as possible.
Yeah.
No more than 5, maybe 3 to 5, something that takes less than a minute for someone to fill out. And if you give that to us, Bill and I and Ryan will get it done.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Well, I'm happy to put a few questions to the 3 of you. If anyone else is interested or is good at survey, let me know. But happy to put a couple questions to the 3 of you and see if they hit. And we could start. That'd be great.
And I think this should be a natural aspect of any webinar we do.
Yeah.
Right? To get the feedback. It's so essential.
And I think then deciding how we disseminate that feedback, but definitely like to the panelists and to the person who moderated, right? And then we can decide if there's like even broader feedback, like for the work stream that hosted it. So we can think about those like a couple different ways.
And Bill and I will take responsibility for disseminating the intelligence we gather. So I don't want you to worry about it. We'll get that done.
Perfect.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the exact point too, Devendra, keeping it simple. What did you most enjoy, or maybe a 1 to 10, did you find the webinar useful? And then free text, what did you find most useful? And then what would you improve? Something very simple, and perhaps what topic, would you like to see addressed next?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I would go in there too, soliciting feedback on kind of, other topics for agenda on next call or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right. Yeah, and I think maybe the proposal, Stacy, if you could send that to like our planning work stream, because Devendra and Bill are both on there with myself, and then again maybe Devendra and Bill and I can work on getting something kind of set up, and maybe even for the webinar today, like if we could get that feedback solicitation out by end of day Friday or maybe Monday, maybe again, Devendra, that's something we can work on offline here over the next 24 to 48 hours.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea too. Okay, so switching gears, I'm actually going to share a screen to the kind of the familiar. Oh no, Devendra, can you make me a host? Is it
I'm sorry. Let's see. Oh, sure. Hold on. Let's see if I can.
That'd be great. While Devendra does that, just to bring up the 2024 conference, and I think the topic that we had settled on at the last meeting was upstream supply planning, drug product and drug substance supply planning, and some of the considerations that go into that go into that, because there's a sort of a different set of strategies than we think about at the finished product level. And because we've already covered demand planning, finished product supply planning, S&OP, and now the packaging strategies, might be a good time to kind of shift the focus to the upstream side. Great, I'm a host now, so can share. You guys should be able to see this, right? So just kind of went through the webinars that we've already had to date. I think the main ask that I have for the team today is, are there any volunteers that would like to facilitate or be panelists on this discussion about upstream supply planning besides myself? And maybe Stacy, I'll look at you because I know you had said you might have some interest in facilitating. Again, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to attend the conference in March, but was maybe looking at you as a potential. I see Brittany with her hand raised as well. So would love to have Brittany on as a panelist as well.
We will conference in March. I know we've been in touch with Devendra a little bit separately as well, but absolutely happy to.
All right. Is there anyone else? What I'm thinking of is maybe it would be good to have another vendor perspective. And I don't think we have any drug substance or drug product manufacturers that are at BSMA. Devendra, are you aware of any that are kind of operating in this space?
Define the space more accurately for me.
Drug substance and drug product planning, right? So how do you go about planning how many drug product and drug substance runs you want to have to support a clinical program?
That should be very easy for us to find out. I can come up with a few suggestions. Maybe people on the team also have some ideas.
I think Catalent was there last year, Devendra, huh? Are they going to be attendance? Yeah.
Catalent was there, and they'll be there again.
It would be good.
And for the manufacturer, we could have Excelsis, for example. I can go after them, Ryan, if you wish.
Okay, sure.
Brittany's also offering in the chat, Fui.
And Brittany has always been an extraordinary resource. So count on her if she's willing to. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, maybe if we could find someone from Catalent, that would be a really interesting one. If they, Chris is there. Chris, sorry, Chris, you're on mute. I missed you. Apologies for that. Or do you want to unmute yourself?
Knock on the devil, and there he is.
There he is.
I apologize, man.
Good thing we didn't say anything rude about them. Not that we would.
That's funny. It's because Chris is a Chiefs fan. We put him on permanent mute. All right, we'll see. Maybe he's not able to. Okay, let's check the chat here. Yeah, I won't let him unmute. All right. So Chris, I know you can hear us. If you've got some folks on the Catalent team that know drug product and drug substance and would be interested, let us know. If you feel like you're able to represent, that would be great too. All right, awesome. So Chris has got it. Awesome. Okay, cool. And yeah, Brittany, I see your suggestion on ALMAC too. So if there are some ALMAC attendees, oh no, none of us can unmute. So maybe Devendra, is that maybe since I'm the host, am I allowed to? Oh,
yeah.
Gosh.
Oh gosh, don't tell me they're all muted.
Unable. Yeah. How do we? I'm not good at hosting. I know how to buy video panels. Oh god.
Oh boy. Oh gosh.
Okay.
Sorry. Let's see what I can do here.
Yeah, I'm looking to if there's a
same.
Let's see, audio settings.
Does
anybody know in the host?
I'm trying to unmute. I can't
allow people to unmute. Let me try this.
Did you go to the participant panel and see if you can do something there?
Okay, there we go. Participants. All right, guys, let me try this.
You click on each person.
Okay, all right. JP guest. Okay, I'm trying to unmute them. Mute me.
Lovely.
Oh boy.
Right. Maybe Ryan, as the host, can you open your participant panel and like unmute each one?
Yeah, I've got the panel. Let me see.
I'm trying to do that, but I cannot. It won't let me.
I can ask to unmute.
Yeah.
But
see
Brittany,
if you can,
did that work?
Yeah, but you have to do each person individually.
Okay.
Each person individually.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know
Chris,
what the settings are.
We got you in there. Kristen, you're off mute.
I'm good.
Yay. Okay. It's working. Let's see. Let's try Chris again. Chris, did that work?
Hey, it did. Fantastic. All right. Like I said, I figured you just locked me because I'm a Chiefs fan, but okay.
Yeah, it's all right, man.
Yes, I got the Catalent piece, by the way.
All right, cool. Awesome. Okay, apologies for that. Pardon our technical deficiency there. Okay, cool. I mean, I think we've got a starting point. The conference is in March, so we've got a solid 5.5 or so months. Maybe if we can aim to get the resources locked down, by our November meeting, I think that would be great, and then we can start to really game plan the panel for the conference in January, February, and get that set up. But I know Bill was keen to have the topic locked down so we can get that onto the agenda. So I think that we're good to go there. Okay, so that's great. I think outside of that, those were the key topics from a webinar and conference planning piece that we wanted to touch on today. Any other hot topics or trends or things that people are seeing that they wanted to bring up and discuss in the forum? All right, going once.
I would just make an observation with Chris and others on the supplier side. Please help us, or help me, let me be precise, to market the event as well as we can. So because the clinical supply and commercial supply session is an all-day session on the 21st of March. The previous day, which is the 20th, is all about supply chain in general. And it would be wonderful to have at least 200 executives on day 2.
Okay.
Because there's so much that you guys are doing with the different work streams. I mean, we had 30 or 35 people on the last meeting a week ago. We had 70 people on the webinar this morning. So let's not make this the best kept secret. And collaboration is the spirit that you guys are demonstrating. So please help me get to as wide an audience, and let's get your colleagues and others to attend.
Okay,
And
understood.
Please. All right.
Got it.
Thank you, sir.
All right. I'm happy to give folks 40 minutes of their day back today. We'll get the brief summary of this discussion out in the meeting minutes, and I think Tony will look forward to more planning calls next month to finalize the webinar, and we'll go from there. And then Devendra, I think for you and I, we can follow up on the feedback mechanism with Bill. Let's see if we can get a note over to him today. Let's see if we can get that back on.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Thank everybody for your time this morning, afternoon, and go Niners. And we'll see everybody. We'll see everybody real soon.
So long. Bye, everyone.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.